أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Zamzam of Spiritual Knowledge. Excerpts from the teachings of Shaykh Mohamed Faouzi al-Karkari. The importance of the group in monitoring the Nafs. A brother shares a dream in which he sees an elderly man among the Karkaris. This man decides to isolate himself from the group, but a voice promptly calls him back. Sidi Sheikh responds, one harms himself by distancing from the group and seeking isolation. The power and strength in following the Shaykh is rooted in the group. It is within the group that a disciple learns to fear Allah Jalla Jalaluh. Isolation poses a risk in the spiritual path, particularly for new disciples susceptible to vices. Many prohibitions that might be ignored in solitude are respected in the group, where individuals will feel ashamed to engage in them. Prostrate to him, and the mountains will follow. The Prophet, peace be upon him, depicted the Sirat al-Mustaqim, or the straight path, as thinner than a hair and sharper than a razor blade. This description is employed to emphasize the necessity of unceasing vigilance over one's nafs. Nonetheless, despite such scrupulous oversight, a disciple might find himself momentarily distracted by his surroundings. A crucial point in one's spiritual journey comes when the disciple recognizes that his sincere efforts in supervising and controlling the nafs are not a result of personal merit. This realization is accompanied by the understanding that it is fundamentally Allah's mercy at play. Such a disciple becomes devoted to Allah, lillah, and commits wholeheartedly to returning to his Lord. This leads to a transformation where the disciple becomes a guiding figure within his family, shifting from being guided by his parents to being followed by them. This change occurs because the disciple has dedicated himself to the spiritual inheritor of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who is a member of the Prophet's esteemed Atra. In a related vision, a disciple dreams of walking along a narrow, razor-sharp path and notices a mountain that initially appears in front of him, but then positions himself behind it. This vision reiterates a key spiritual lesson. If the disciple prostrates before Allah Jalla Jalaluh, even the mountains will follow him. How then does one genuinely prostrate before Allah Jalla Jalaluh? The disciple must continuously focus on the ultimate pursuit of spiritually discovering Allah Jalla Jalaluh. He should constantly question the purpose of his presence in the Zawiyah, ideally doing so 360 times a day. This number, 360, corresponds to the number of primary blood vessels in the human body. By consciously overseeing his nafs at least this many times a day, the disciple will direct all his vessels toward the paramount pursuit, the knowledge of Allah Jalla Jalaluh.